integrity, and intelligence. These are the three I's that make a radio show so great. So why not tune into a show that has all three? Listen to What is Savage every Tuesday night from 7 to 10 p.m. with your hosts, Tiger Sprout and Andrew Frank. And it's only here on WIXQ 91.7 FM, The Ville. Oh, it's true. It's true. WIXQ is owned by Millersville University and operated by the students as an extracurricular activity. The opinions expressed on air are those of the DJs and do not reflect the views of WIXQ or its staff. Seize the airways with WIXQ 91.7 FM, The Ville. Radical, renowned, real college radio. And we're back here on the air, here in WIXQ 91.7 FM. You're listening to What is Savage. This time I remember to keep the songs in for the talking segments. So now we're going to do sports. So Frank, would you like to join us with sports?
I got nothing, so it's your show.
Okay. So, yeah, all right. What do you have for sports? Because then whatever you don't cover, I will cover the rest of the time.
Let's start just kind of like couple feedbacks on the combine and stuff, you know. The only couple that I've noticed was Kyler Murray's skill set, like his skill combine stuff, like his hand width and all that other stuff is like neglected. Was a little, like, scouts are looking, it was a little bit better than Haskins, which everybody kind of figured he was the better quarterback anyway.
I was surprised to not see him do the 40. Kyler Murray. I was hoping he would do the 40.
I would too, but I don't know why. But he, from what people were saying, whether like the actual official scores or not was people were liking his like the way he was throwing and everything. Like, they were just liking everything a little bit better than Haskins, which would lead to Kyler Murray hopefully being the Cardinals pick if they want to unload Josh Rosen. What, like, hearsay to that. However, the issue that they are comparing him to Cam Newton's like intelligence and leadership level stuff, like his from the one scout I was talking, like, listening to, said that his leadership was below average, his study habits were below average, and his something else was very bad. And this was the same thing that they said about Cam Newton. However, Cam Newton has led the Panthers to, like, he's been in there for 7 years. He's led them to 4 playoff appearances, 5, something like that.
Something like that.
And he took them to a Super Bowl. So it's like, you know, it's hearsay if that's a good or bad thing, but him having that low leadership level could draw him away from, if the Cardinals don't pick him, where does he go? Who's going to take that risk? Because they're not going to want somebody that can't lead their team. Because if the Dolphins looking to replace Tannehill, because Tannehill's not that good in their opinion, they want somebody that can lead them to the future. If Kyler Murray has low leadership ability, they're not going to want him, you know what I mean? So, if he doesn't, he's got to hope that the Cardinals pick him. Also, you could be crazy if the Cardinals pick him, because then you give up Nick Bosa. So there's a couple things that play into that.
I honestly think that Kyler Murray is not going to the Cardinals. I think that Josh Rosen is staying there. I personally like Josh Rosen.
They haven't given enough time.
He was just out of luck with, he has no offensive line, and I mean, it didn't have the developmental coach that he needed. So that's why I think Cliff Kingsbury, I think him being the new head coach, having that already just coming from a college program that succeeded mindset, and bring that to a not so far out college football player, that this would work out. Especially if they're trying to make the team younger, this works.
Now, your other issue you rely with that is with new coaches, they want their guy. Like, they want a quarterback or whatever that they think is their guy. So, that being said, if Cliff Kingsbury has already... I don't know if he has. There's no reports that... He hasn't come out and said this, because that'd be kind of dumb if he did. If Cliff Kingsbury has given up on Josh Rosen, Josh Rosen's as good as gone. Because he's going to want to bring in somebody with, like... Well, there's not that much crop of talent coming out. But there's enough quarterbacks that if I look at Kyler Murray and I'm like, that's my guy, I'm going to take him, transition Josh Rosen out of my program, get something in return for him. It's the same thing with John Gruden. If John Gruden has given up on Derek Carr is as good as gone. However, Derek Carr, I think, should stay in Oakland. But if you come into a mindset of, I'm the new coach, I want my guy, then that's where you run into, I'm going to kick him out of my program. But I still think Josh Rosen should Josh Rosen should be the quarterback of the Cardinals' future. Give him another year. Do not pick Kyler Murray. Take Nick Bosa. Get your pass rusher. You have David Johnson. You can get a young wide receiver. There's a slew of them coming out. Get somebody for him to throw to and protect him. It's the same thing they are trying to do with Luck. Protect him. He'll be good. But anyways.
Yes, so another thing that I thought was very interesting from the scouting combine was Trace McSorley from Penn State. They wanted him to try out at defensive back, and he told them no, and now some NFL experts are thinking maybe he'll be the next Julian Edelman, who Julian Edelman was a quarterback at Kent State before transitioning over to wide receiver in the successful Patriots offense that he's in.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's why the what is it? Not they call it the Philly special now, but that's kind of Julian Edelman and Tom Brady didn't start that, but they were the most successful at it.
And even with Trace McSorley, and it happens to a lot of quarterbacks, they transition them over to other positions. Denard Robinson turned into a running back.
Terrell Pryor, wide receiver.
Yep. Trace McSorley, though, I think that I watched his highlights at the scouting combine, and I thought he did phenomenal. I mean, he was the fastest quarterback doing the 40. Maybe Kyler Murray would have beaten him if he would have done it. He was dropping absolute dimes while he was doing the passing, like different levels, whether it's the slant or whether he's doing the out or if he's doing the deep ball. He was dropping dimes. Yeah, so I think that, no, Trace McSorley isn't going to be a first-round quarterback, but possibly if he would get the proper attention, I think he could be within the same hype that Christian Hackenberg had a couple years ago, where he got a second-round pick.
Yeah.
I really wanted Christian Hackenberg to succeed in the AAF. However, he got benched for Zach Mettenberg. So you know what?
Well, yeah, but look at this.
Look, you know me. I was on the Christian Hackenberg train for the longest time.
That's true.
I have tried to stay on this, but I am officially jumping off the Christian Hackenberg train because he could not get it done in the AAF.
But look at it this way. Also, Christian Hackenberg had, not even an NFL start. He came into for an injury and then got benched or something like that.
Yes.
Mettenberger has a couple wins in the NFL. So.
But we're talking about a more mediocre football league that he still couldn't get it done.
Right. And so, but Zach Mettenberger was the better quarterback. I'm surprised he wasn't the starter.
Well, you know what? Trace McSorley, I'm on his band.
So now Trace McSorley is going to be a bum in the NFL.
No,
great.
He's going to be...
This is phenomenal.
He's going to be...
You've doomed this kid.
They're going to call it the McSorley 6 instead of the Brady 6. So get ready.
You know what a good landing spot for him could be if he's still quarterback? If they end up getting somebody...
Miami.
Or Jacksonville. Because if they get Nick Foles...
They're going to get Nick Foles.
When they get Nick Foles, he's not going to be there forever. And there's going to be a time where you're going to realize that the Foles magic only works in Philly, because that's what the Rams realized.
Actually, he did have some success in Kansas City.
But that was
Andy Reid offense.
That was Andy. Yeah, he was used to that offense. Mm-hmm. He went to St. Louis was at the time, I believe. Yeah,
yes.
and they didn't know the offense, and
So
now they have Jared Goff.
I think Trace McSorley should go to Miami in the second round.
I like Drew Lock to Miami, though. But that's just me personally.
I think he's going to get drafted as a quarterback somewhere.
But he's a really good idea to have as a backup and groom for somebody that's like Minnesota would be another one.
Who
Somebody
has maybe potential someday. Minnesota wouldn't be a bad one.
yeah, but
Yes. So that's all I really had to pull up from the scouting combine.
I mean, besides Metcalf doing like the best wide receiver, but
Speaking of NFL, while we're already on this topic, Nick Foles to the Jaguars. It's
not a
confirmed.
done deal, but it's a
it's gonna
done
happen.
deal pretty much.
But that had to play in part to the franchise tags that did and did not take place, which also franchise tags that did not take place included Landon Collins of the New York Giants, a complete surprise. In our league, he got the big contract, and he worked out great, so the Giants really messed this one up.
Did the Giants win a Super Bowl in that league? I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure.
It's been a while.
I can't remember either.
Let's see. Le'Veon Bell didn't get it, obviously.
No. Well, wasn't he not eligible because of the sit-out? Wasn't the whole reason he did
No,
that?
he could have gotten the...
He could have?
He could have.
He just didn't get paid for last
yes.
season because of that. Okay.
Steven Joskowski did not get the franchise tag that was expected,
no.
so the Patriots are in the running for a new kicker.
They should go get Chase Vinatieri. I don't even know if he's in the draft this year.
And I want to say there was another big name that didn't get it, but I can't think of it. So teams that did place franchise tag, Robbie Gould of the 49ers.
That was kind of... I guess there was really nobody else they should have franchise tagged.
Well, I mean, he was a good kicker for them.
I think they did it just so that the Bears couldn't have him back.
Probably. DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys. We're also looking at... Gosh... Who else got the tag? Oh, Jadeveon Clowney of the Texans, which they're working on a long-term deal. So I think it's going to be an interesting free agency. Now, reports are going on now, however, speaking of Le'Veon Bell, to Oakland. And hear this out. Hear this out. Oakland sounds like they're really trying to push for Le'Veon Bell, Kyler Murray, and they're trying to trade for Antonio Brown.
Yes, I heard this too. Kyler Murray's best landing spot would be the Giants, however, just because
I think Derek Carr is going to stay in Oakland.
I think Derek Carr, but here's your issue with that. With having Derek Carr, you have 0 to 5% chance of even piquing Le'Veon Bell's interest because they don't have the money for it with Derek Carr's top 5 quarterback contract. They have money, but they'll be outbid. If the Jets are dead set on it, they can outbid them. If the Texans, I don't know what the Texans situation is now.
I think the Jets are going to get him.
But the Jets can outbid anybody except Indy. And if Indy has no
Indy's
interest,
not going to go
but
for
you
him.
know what I mean. If
Yeah.
Indy has interest, then Indy can get him. It goes Indy, Jets, whoever else. So if those two don't have interest, then cool.
He's going to New York.
I think he'll probably be a Jet as well.
But I think Antonio Brown, the 3 teams that are interested in him are the Titans, the Redskins, and the Raiders. So it's between the Grudens and the Titans.
And, who is the...
Jay Gruden.
No, who's the Titans coach? It's
No, I'm thinking of the coach that left Tennessee to go to Green Bay. What's his name?
He's been there for a while, hasn't he?
He's been there for the year.
Okay.
It's his first year.
Then I don't remember his name.
He was the one that went for that 2-point conversion against Philadelphia and won the game.
That's true, yeah.
I forget his name.
Oh, well, but yeah, it's between those guys.
But yeah, that's what I got on AB. Let's see.
If he's smart, he goes to Tennessee.
King Kong Bundy.
He can't control that, but that's the best thing for him. Keep going.
King Kong Bundy passed away last night, 61, of wrestling, Frank. Tori Wilson going to the WWE Hall of Fame. And, yes.
No, keep going. Sorry.
That was it I had for wrestling. We're also in the running, Sean and I, because this looks more realistic now. Sean and I are in the looking to really trying to go into WrestleMania. Frank is opposed to our plan of going to WrestleMania this year. Am I right, Frank?
That's correct.
All right, Frank is making sure we don't go to WrestleMania this year.
I'm not saying you can't go. I'm just
bad.
saying I'm
He
not.
doesn't want us to go.
No, I'm not saying I don't want you to go. I'm just saying I don't
That's
agree with wrestling.
Just saying, I don't want you to go.
You just don't want us to go.
But
You
I
don't
No, I
want us
do
to-
want you to
That's not what
go.
I
You don't want us to have fun.
No, you can have. I'm just saying I don't.
No, remember, Tiger,
I
he
don't
said-
agree with it,
was
but
it-
you might.
Last week he said, you have a kid, you can't have fun anymore.
I did not say that.
Or-
That's a
too-
strike, Frank. You just
That is
tied
not-
Chris.
No, that
you
is-
just tied Chris at one
That
strike.
is not true. I did not say
You
that.
did. You implied it
Do you have-
heavily
wait,
about 2 weeks ago.
Do you
if
have
that.
receipts about where I
I
said
have
that?
a.
I could
prom.
probably pull up the recordings from last week.
No, that's okay.
It's either last week or the week before.
So, yes, strike. Thank you. So, Diamond Queen Frank is tied with Cyborg Chris at one strike. Presenter Sean does not have a strike yet. And
Nor does Big.
Big Daddy does not have one either. So, but yes, so Sean and I are looking into WrestleMania this year. We are like on every single ticket site trying to look at tickets, and we so far found 2 tickets, and they are fairly for the event. For some people, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a lot of money," but I mean, for the event, it's the Super Bowl of wrestling, so I mean, it's gonna be
a little cheaper on the ticket side.
it's gonna be expensive, but I mean these seats are cheaper on the ticket side. People are trying to resell them, and I have the visual right now. If you would like to see it quick, come over here and look at this. This is on Vivid Seats. Okay, this would be the I forget where it was, 310 level. Okay, and this picture is the 311 level, so it's one over. This is exactly what it looked like, just some rows up. What are you thinking about this? And this is the total.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna confirm that one right now.
It's about like close to $50-ish less.
Yeah, that's
So-
definitely. Well, because what? It was what 2 or 622 down to. Yeah, it's like 40 less, dude.
Yeah. So I say we get these,
I'm down.
and we figured out you don't need to pay tolls to get there, and parking is only $30. So, Frank, we're going to WrestleMania.
Good for you.
All right then. So, I just got to buy these now. So, and fortunately, my car, which took a poop on me today, did not need anything done.
That's
So
true.
this works out.
Exactly.
It's
that's
fate,
great.
man.
It's fate. My car wanted to go to WrestleMania with us.
Pretty much.
So, there we go. April 7th, WrestleMania. It's Sunday, and it's from 5:30 till like midnight.
it's
So
like 5. I think it starts.
we're gonna die on the way back.
Pretty
It's gonna be a
much.
long night. But yes,
Rest in peace, April 8th.
we're going to WrestleMania. Let's see. What else do we have going on in sports?
Baseball.
Yes, baseball. I only have one thing, and
And I'm
that's
pretty
Bryce
sure it's
Harper
the
is a
same
Philly.
thing. Yep.
So, funny thing about the press conference, he's bringing the title back to DC, like he said. Did you not hear about that?
No, I didn't. What?
He was doing his press conference. He was like, "I'm excited to bring the title to the city of DC,"
Oh, yeah.
and he just kept going on like he didn't notice it. He picked the
know.
number 3 jersey for respect to Roy Halladay, who was 34 at this time with the Phillies, which hats off to him.
Hands off.
Not hands off to him. Hats off to him. Much respect for that, and I honestly think Bryce Harper is going to be successful with the Phillies.
Oh, he will. There was. Oh no, my dad did not give me the name of the player, but everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, you just signed this dude who was former MVP, but he only batted what 249.
Yeah.
Had 160 strikeouts." My dad did mention, he did not say the name, and I'm kind of upset I did not press for the name, but he did say the last time the Phillies did this, they won a World Series. They brought in I don't know if it was a batter, but they brought in somebody that was said to have peaked too early and then started falling off, and they brought him in. He did phenomenally well, and they won a World Series. I can't remember the player, but there's hope for the Phillies. The Phillies would be a team that I do root for the Phillies as well as I root for the Red Sox. So I'm going to enjoy watching Bryce Harper play the 4 games I watch before playoffs. But
Yeah. So
But yeah, his deal is It's phenomenal. 13 million or 13. Yeah, 13 million. That's pretty low. No, 13 years for what? 330 million.
Yep.
And there is no opt-out clause. Like
Not like the Manny Machado one.
yeah, he can't get out unless the Phillies.
I don't think he wants to.
Well, and here's the thing with it.
Because he said he was going to, as soon as Mike Trout's
Yep,
contract's up, he's
2021.
going to try to bring him to Philly.
So if you get Bryce Harper, you get Mike Trout, you get that pitching crew starts performing. They're really young. There's a couple of them that are doing really well. They start like killing it. They have a solid 5 rotation. They get that bullpen in check. That's a pretty scary NL competitor right there. Especially with Mike Trout, even with Bryce Harper before Mike Trout shows up. But if you're relying solely on Mike Harper, anyways, if you're relying solely on Bryce Harper, then you're in a bit of a trouble. But you get Mike Trout, who is considered the best baseball player, and then Bryce Harper, who's considered an argument for that. You better do something. It's almost like having a pitching crew of Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, Roy Oswalt, not winning a World Series. So, you know.
I think that this is going to be a successful squad. And to end it out with our sports segment, surprisingly, we did not go 40 minutes.
Oh, no.
So
We got to fix that.
we only went about
Like 20.
maybe about 25, 30. So, and to end it out on a soft, quick note, the update from this past week's race in Las Vegas.
Oh, this.
So,
cool.
Joey Logano went on ahead and won the NASCAR Cup Series at Las Vegas. He won the final stage and the second stage, Kevin Harvick winning the first stage. The thing I've noticed, though, this is the third race. The next race will be in Phoenix. What I've noticed about the 3 races so far this year is they've gone ahead and revamped the car styles because they have Ford, Chevy, and Toyotas that run in the races. The Chevys at one point had, I think the last cars that they were using were the Malibus, Chevy Malibus, but they switched them over to the Camaros, and it's the body style and everything. Toyota's still using the Camry, which surprisingly they are performing well enough. But Ford had the Taurus for a good while, and maybe I think it was the Taurus. I don't want to say it was the Focus.
No, it definitely was not the Focus.
The Taurus they've used, and the Tauruses haven't been like a threat on the track, but they went ahead this year and swapped them over to the Mustangs, and surprisingly, the Fords are like the ones that need to be beat on the track. So, and last year it was the Toyotas, or last year it was the Chevys that were like the Camaros that were doing phenomenal, and this year it's the Fords. So, anytime I've noticed who's leading the race or how many cars are in the top 10, 70% of it is Fords. The Mustangs are doing phenomenal this year.
So it's looking like the muscle car body style is the
They're
way
coming
to
back,
go?
yeah. It's not the conventional, Malibu and everything else. There was days where it was the SSs for the Chevys, and then they had for the they used to have Pontiacs back in the day, the Grand Prix and everything. But yeah, muscle cars coming back. It seems like.
What were the Ford? It was what, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and
Yeah,
and what was it?
that's it.
Oh, there's
There
three.
was a time, early 2000s, it was Chevy, Ford, Dodge, and Pontiac. And then Pontiacs disappeared because Pontiac started to die off. Then it was Ford, Chevy, and Dodge, and then Toyotas. Toyota started to become an American centralized car, which you think about it, it is. I know it's a Japanese brand, but it's becoming more American, just like Hondas and Toyotas are
You
becoming.
see Civics everywhere.
That's what I mean. They're becoming more Americanized, if anything. Just like Fords are going all over the place. Or, not just in the United States is what I mean by
No,
all
I
over the
got
place.
you.
So then Dodge kind of backed itself out of NASCAR because I guess NASCAR wanted to re-sign with them, but Dodge was taking forever to get their deal done. So NASCAR was like, all right, we're done with you. You're not in NASCAR anymore. So they got rid of all the Chargers and everything. So if you were one of the race teams who had a Dodge, you had to pick another one to go to, which a lot of them went to Ford and Toyota. So, yeah, those are the three.
So here's the thing: Toyota just needs to use Priuses, right?
Surprisingly, the Camry's pretty fast. I don't know what it is. So, yeah, there we are. That's sports. So let's go ahead and play some more music. Stay here with us here in WIXQ 91.7 FM. You're listening to What a Savage.